Good morning. Thank you all for coming in on time and thank you for waiting. Well, today is presentation day, part 1. So let us begin. And please check the list of the presenters. We have 14 presenters on schedule for today. So I'd like to get started. And we will just go through them one by one and then try to finish up so that you can have a break. Now, I would like to show you or let you see again the self-evaluation form that I would like you to complete after your presentation. Now, today we'll have the presentation, and after the class, I will prepare a video of today's presentations. And what I would like you to do is to, if you are a presenter today, to watch your presentation and to complete this self-evaluation form and then to upload it to the Moodle by Sunday. But what I suggest that you do before that, after today's presentation, I would suggest that you get started on this self-evaluation so that you can get your your first reaction to your presentation based on your memory. And then you can watch the video and you can see your presentation and then you can complete the self-evaluation. So that's my suggestion. Any questions about that? All right, then please let's get our cameras on if possible and let's begin. Takeshi is the first presenter. Could you please get ready to start? Now you know that you will be showing your screen, your slides, and you'll be speaking at the same time. Takeshi, are you here? Kokoro, are you here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I guess Takeshi, I don't know. I can't see him on the screen. Okay, Kokoro, can you start?
Okay.
While you're getting ready, can I just check to make sure you are here? Kengo, are you here?
Yes.
And can you turn on your camera, please? Hikaruko, are you here?
Yes.
Just turn on your screen so that I can know you are here. Okay, thank you. Great, thank you. Okay, Kokoro, are you ready to start?
Should I share my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning. I will do presentation about Japanese animation. Animation is Japanese culture. This is a video technique that utilizes the phantom movement. I choose animation as a topic of the presentation because I like Disney animation movie and recently Japanese animation has a big impact on Japanese economy. So I'm interested in when Japanese animation started and the economic influence of animation. First of all, I will explain about history. Animation was made in 1917 for the first time. Three people produced it almost at the same time. They were evaluated as Western-style painters and were scouted by a company that was established under the influence of Disney. In the Pacific War, Japanese Navy aimed at raising the spirit of war were produced, and Japanese first feature-length animation Momotaro Shiheron was born, and in 1945, Momotaro Shi God Soldier was born. After the war, Toei merged with Nippon Video and launched Toei Animation, and Osamu Tezuka launched Mushi Production. Toei Animation started producing animated films for theaters, and Japan's first color feature-length animated film was produced and exported abroad. On the other hand, Mushi Production made Japanese first full-scale serial TV animation and film of Astro Boy. In recent years, Kimetsu no Yaiba has caused a social phenomenon. The box office revenue of the movie is about 40 billion. This record is surprising. Recently, the final version of Evangelion was released, and the revenue of 8.28 billion was recorded, surpassing Shin Godzilla. Director Anno recorded his best box office revenue of movies. And Detective Conan, which was released soon, also revenue of 5.6 billion in 5 days. Despite the epidemic of COVID-19, animation movies are stimulating the Japanese economy now. Finally, I found that Japanese animation was influenced by Disney. There is an animation produced at the request of the Navy. Animation movies have a big impact on the economy now. I thought Japanese animation has a big power. I'm interested in it more. Thank you. Do you have any question?
Can you show us your slides of the URL, the
Okay.
last slide?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay,
Thank
thank you very much. Okay, let us just go one by one. Okay, so Yuki, are you here?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to get started?
Okay. Good morning. My name is Yuki. Today I'll introduce Kendama. I think that you want to know why I chose to introduce Kendama. Because I like to play with Kendama and I used to play Kendama when I am an elementary school student. So I can play Kendama well, but I don't show you how well I can play.
Okay.
First, what is Kendama? This is
Yeah.
Japanese traditional toy.
Mhm.
I think many Japanese people have played with it at least one time. Please look at me. This is my kendama.
Oh, wow.
Kendama has a body called ken,
Mhm.
and a ball which has a small hole called tama. They are connected with each other by a string.
Mhm.
And the can has 3 different sizes of cups. The biggest one is called ozara. Second one is called chuzara. And the smallest one is called kozara. And it has a stick called kensaki. We use each part of Ken to play. I will go to next slide now. History of Kendama. Kendama was introduced in Edo period. At first, Kendama was called Kuitama Ken. The shape of it is like this.
Hmm.
It's quite different from Kendama. In Taisho period, Kuitama Ken became Kendama.
Oh.
I will go to next slide now. How to play with Kendama.
Mm.
Put the ball on 3 cups like this. Or insert a stick into the hole in the ball like this. And we can combine these ways to make tricks. Kendama has many tricks. For example, Nihon Ishu means traveling around Japan. This trick uses Kodara, Ozara, and Kensaki.
Mm.
Sekai Ishu means traveling all over the world. This trick uses Kodara, Ozara, Chuzara, Kensaki.
Hmm.
And I think the most famous trick is Moshikame. I think almost all you know this trick. It's putting a ball on Ozara and Chuzara alternately.
Yeah.
Finally, this is a summary. Kendama was introduced in Edo period. To play with Kendama is so much fun. You should play with it. Thank you.
Mm.
Do you have any question?
Mm. Right. Thank you very much. I didn't know there were so many ways to play with kendama.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, fine. Thank you. Then let's go ahead. Rintaro, can you give your presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's find you.
Okay. Good morning. Our sports called sumo is one of the traditional sports in Japan. And my topic of the presentation today, I chose sumo as a topic because when I watch TV at night, they are always bought as a sumo. I wondered why sumo is so much interest in Japan. So I decided to choose it. The main event of sumo is Hongosho, which is held 6 times in a year. These matches are held not only Ryogoku Kokugikan in Tokyo,
Yeah.
but also all over Japan. And TV watching rate of sumo can research as high as 25%.
Mm.
In this presentation, I will explain 2 sentences. The first is, what is the origin of sumo? And the second is the life of sumo wrestlers. I will go to the next slide now. The first, sumo has been inherited from more than 1,500 years, and it was originally a ritual that is a part of Buddhist culture. There are several pieces of pottery from Kofun period around the 4th century that are thought to be based on the sumo origin. From Nara period, around the 8th century, sumo became an annual event, and it was held to predict the harvest. From the Muromachi era, Muromachi period, around the 4th century, sumo was promoted as a way for samurai to show off their strengths for others. I will go to the next slide. When you think of sumo wrestlers, you probably think a strong image for them. Here is look at the day in the life of sumo wrestler. Sumo wrestler train and live together as a sumo wrestler in a dormitory called sumo bear or a sumo stable. Recently, there is open for tourists for the purpose for popularizing. After the training, they eat a special menu called chanko nabe or chanko hot pot. They need consume 20,000 calories in a day. Chanko is made by a variety of ingredients. It is meat, fish, and vegetables. And it is a good source of protein, vitamins, and any other nutrients. I will go to the next slide. So wrapping up to my presentation, sumo is a traditional sport and used to be a Buddhist ritual. The origin of sumo is unclear, but as a result of research, it was found that sumo has been inherited since the Kofun period, and it has been continued for more than 1,500 years. And sumo wrestlers live and train together in small stable. After practice, they eat chanko nabe that contains many of nutrients.
Yeah.
Also, some small stables are opened to visitors, so it is a good idea to show foreign visitors. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Yeah. Did you say 20,000 calories?
Yeah. The small restaurant need 20,000 calories in a day.
That's amazing. Like that's like 20 times what normal people eat. Or 10 times. Like the normal is like about 2,000 calories, isn't it? Or 2,500? Wow. Wow, they eat a ton of food. Just a ton. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Then who's next? Hikaru-ko. Rintaro, can you unshare your screen?
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay, thank you. Hikaru-ko, are you ready to roll? Oh, wow.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning. This traditional Japanese dish called miso soup is my focus of presentation today. I choose miso soup as a topic of the presentation because miso soup is still familiar to many Japanese people among traditional Japanese food. So I decided to find out more by choosing this as able topic for my presentation. And in this short presentation, I will explain what is miso soup's history and varieties of miso soup. The base of traditional miso soup is a simple combination of dashi and miso. Miso is seasoning that cultures mixture of soybeans, a grain like rice or wheat, and salt and koji. Miso is a fermented paste that add a salty umami flavor to many Japanese dishes. According to the official website of Marukomen, a famous miso shop in Japan, miso soup was born about 850 years ago. Mortars were introduced from China in the Kamakura period, and it was easy to dissolve in water when miso was crushed, so it was used in miso soup. But at the time, miso was used as salary or a gift for high-ranking people, so ordinary people couldn't eat. But next period, Muromachi, soybean production increased. Farmers began to make homemade miso, and miso spread to the common people as a preserved food. And in the Edo period, the population increased and the demand for miso increased, and miso soup began to be enjoyed by a lot of ordinary people. In the Sengo period, it became food for soldiers during the war. Look at this picture. This is called a miso bowl. In Japanese, misodama, which is made of miso hardened for soldiers to eat. So miso has been popular among all Japanese. There are more than 1,000 types of miso in Japan, raising texture, flavor, and color. And miso is made in a variety of ways depending on the combination of climate and ingredients nationwide. Different colors and taste depending on the combination with soybeans. For example, rice and soybeans or wheat and soybeans. To summarize into 4 categories, miso is Japanese traditional food. Miso soup is a simple combination of dashi and miso. And miso soup was born about 850 years ago. And there are more than 1,000 types of miso in Japan. Miso is so simple seasoning that miso has been loved by people for a long time. Thank you for your kind attention. Do you have any question? Thank you.
I'm sorry. What kind of miso soup do you like?
I like miso in Tokyo is mainly made from rice and soybeans.
Yeah. So shiro miso or aka miso?
Yes.
Which one do you like?
Aka miso
Yeah, me too, but I never
is
buy it and I never make it at home. So I always enjoy it when I go outside. Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much. Okay, do you want to unshare your screen?
Okay.
And we'll go to Kay. Kay, are you here?
Yes,
Okay.
I'll share my screen.
Yes, please.
Can you show it?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Great, beautiful.
Let's start. Hello, my name is Kei Shibata. Today I'm going to introduce Setsubun, which is one of the Japanese famous culture. I chose Setsubun as a topic for my presentation because I live in Japan for a long time, but I don't know the meaning of it. I think that many people know the word Setsubun, but few people know the real meaning. So I decided to find more by choosing it as a topic for my presentation, and I introduce you about it. First, I think about meaning of the name Setsubun. What does the name mean, and what do you do on the day? I'll explain first what does the original meaning of the word Setsubun, and second, what do you do on the day in my presentation. According to the website, original meaning of the word Setsubun is dividing the seasons such as spring, summer, fall, and winter. So people call the day before the beginning of the spring Rishun, summer Rikka, fall Risshu, and winter Ritto. But now Setsubun is on February 3rd because the day before the beginning of the spring Rishun is the most important of 4. Spring is the first season of the year in Japanese old calendar. And people look forward to the day. And speaking of Setsubun, it was on February 3rd.
Yeah.
Next, Setsubun is the event held to pray for our happiness and health now on the day. People do mamemaki, in Japanese, which is throwing beans to Oni with saying Oni wa soto and squelchy. Oni is a demon and it appears at the turn of the season.
Yeah.
Also, they eat beans as numbers as their age.
Yeah.
And ehomaki, which is big roll sushi, without saying for our health. Some people decorate certain heads and holy branches at their house entrances because they are said only don't come to the house.
そうだ。
So I upped my presentation. Setsubun originally means dividing the season like spring, summer, fall, and winter. Setsubun is on February 3rd because beginning of the spring rishun is the most important of four, and Setsubun is held to pray for our happiness and health now. It's from the traditional Japanese culture, but I don't know the real meaning about it. So if you don't know the meaning, I recommend remember it on this occasion. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Can
Do
we
you have any questions?
Yeah, thank you. Good, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, great, thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
then is Chiho here?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning. I'll introduce about Japanese traditional fermented food, natto. The natto is fermented soybeans, which is sticky and it has unique smell. There are many kinds of fermented food in Japan. For example, miso, shoyu, Japanese sake, and so on. Especially natto is the most popular fermented food. I chose natto as a topic in my presentation because natto is symbolic and common Japanese breakfast. And actually, I eat every morning.
Really?
I often hear that natto is very healthy, but I didn't know why natto is healthy and what kind of effect does natto have.
Yeah.
So I decided to find out more by choosing this topic. In this presentation, I will explain when and how natto was born and why natto is sticky and healthy. First, I'll introduce about origin of natto. Natto was born in 11th century in Japan. At that time, there were a lot of wars in Japan. Warriors fight with riding a horse. Horses liked eating soybeans, which is boiled and cooled. But one day, warriors didn't have enough soybeans, so they ordered to farmer to prepare soybeans. But they didn't have enough time, so they boiled soybeans and put it in straw without cooling enough. After that, the soybeans smelled unique and it formed long thread. When warriors eat it, it was very delicious, so it spread into all over Japan. An accidental meeting of straw and boiled hot soybeans made natto. Next, let's talk about why natto is sticky and healthy. When soybeans are fermented, it produces glutamic acid. Glutamic acid form one line and tangle each other, and it produces thickness. Glutamic acid helps our body to absorb calcium. Also, natto is full of vitamin, iron, fiber, and so on. It has good effect on protecting from virus, anti-aging, and improving our stomach healthy. So wrap up my presentation. Natto was born in 11th century in coincidentally. Thousands of glutamic acid made thickness, and natto is full of some nutrition, so natto makes us healthy. This is the one reason that many people eat natto for breakfast for a long time. Recently, natto is hated by thousands of people, but it is so healthy and traditional food. So I want that natto is loved by not only Japanese, but also other countries' people. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Thank you. Okay, that was very interesting history. So natto started out as a mistake.
Yes.
That's interesting. Okay, good. Now, I think we have seen 3 presentations in a row. This was a coincidence that all make use of soybeans. First, we had miso, then we had setsubun, and now we have natto. So you can see that soybeans are a really important food for Japanese food culture. I didn't plan this, it just happened. Very interesting. Thank you for your nice choices. Okay, then Aiko, are you here?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to start your presentation?
Okay. Can you see it?
I can see the screen, but I cannot see any letters.
Okay. Good morning. I'd like to talk about osechi. Osechi is a Japanese traditional New Year's dish. It is my focus of the presentation today. I chose osechi as the topic of the presentation because I like eating it very much. I eat it every year, but I don't really know the history of osechi and the origin of osechi. So I decided to choose this as a topic for my presentation. First of all, what is osechi? Osechi is a Japanese traditional New Year's dish. Japanese celebrate New Year's Day with osechi. People eat it to pray for good health and great harvest for years. In this short presentation, I will explain about 2 things: the history of osechi, the ingredients in osechi. I will explain about the history of osechi. According to the website of Urusuguri, osechi originates from sekku during Yayoi period. Sekku is an offering to thank God for plentiful harvest every year. During Nara and Heian period, Sechie was held as a Paris event. Sechie is a ritual to pray for perpetual youth and longevity. A celebratory meal called osechiku was served there. In 18th century, during the Edo period, osechiku became popular among the general public. After World War II, many department stores sold osechiku as osechi, so people called osechiku osechi. Now that you know the history of osechi, let's talk about the ingredients in osechi. Every dish has a special meaning. This is kurikinton. I like it the best in the ingredients of osechi. It is mashed sweet potato with sweet chestnuts. This beautiful yellow symbolizes money. So people believe kurikinton raises their money luck. The picture of the right is datemaki. It is a sweet rolled omelette. It is really fashionable. The datemaki has a meaning of knowledge. So if you eat it on New Year's Day, you can supposedly get a lot of knowledge about something. So to wrap up my presentation, osechi originates from sekku. Every dish has a special meaning. And osechi has a very long history. It is a very important Japanese culture, so we should continue this tradition. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
No, but I have a comment. Isn't there kuromame in the osechi food?
Yes.
Isn't that made from soybeans?
Yes.
Kuromame is a kind of soybean, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Great, thank you very much. Your presentation was interesting. Thank you. And
Thank you.
thank you. Then let us continue. Cool, eh? I think you can find a lot of connections between things, not just the soybeans, but about other things, because there is actually another connection I remembered between soybeans and sumo. Do you ever see the sumo wrestlers throwing the soybeans at the crowds of people at a shrine on the Setsubun? So that's also a connection. And you see it all is coming together. There's many, many connections. And that's what's so wonderful about Japanese culture. Okay, then Hanano, are you ready to roll?
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Hanano Sato. A Japanese dress called kimono is traditional beautiful clothes of Japan. It's my focus of the presentation today. I chose kimono as the topic of my presentation because kimono is loved by not only Japanese people, but also foreign countries people. So I want to know why kimono is so popular and about kimono in detail. That's why I chose kimono as the topic of my presentation. My topics are meanings of design and kimono at the wedding. Kimono has different meanings by each design, so I will introduce some interesting meanings. Also, Japanese people sometimes wear kimono at the wedding, so I will explain why bride wear kimono at the wedding and the kind of headdress. At first, the meanings of design. Kimono has many kinds of design, and each design has different meanings. For example, crane stands for longevity and happy marriage because in Japan, it is said that crane is a long-lived symbol. Another one, sakura, is a national flower of Japan, and it stands for the beginning of lucky things and abundance. Sakura associates with spring that many plants and flowers bloom. That's why sakura stands for the beginning of lucky things and abundance. Second, kimono at the wedding. Kimono worn at the wedding is called shiromuku. In Japan, recently, about 1/10 bride wear shiromuku at the wedding. The beginning of shiromuku is in Muromachi period, and it was worn by people who had high social position. What does it mean to wear shiromuku at the wedding? It means to get married as a pure and innocent woman. The headdress of the center picture is called wataboshi, and this headdress prevents to be seen bride's face from people except groom, like wedding veil. The headdress of the right side of this picture is called sumikakushi, and it means to hide symbol of women's anger, sumi, which is headline in English. Women showed to be a wife who follows husband obediently. So to wrap up my presentation, kimono has so many varieties of design, and each design has different meanings. And you can wear kimono and headdress at the wedding, which also has meanings. I hope this presentation was informative for you. And if you have a chance to wear kimono, please think about design and meanings. Here are the URLs for the pictures. Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Okay, then let's keep going. Kasumi, are you ready to present?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Hello, I'm Kasumi Okazaki. Today I'm going to introduce Japanese fireworks. As you know, fireworks are like beautiful flowers in the sky. Then the reason why I chose this topic is I like watching fireworks in summer, so I want to explain the history of fireworks and about the different types of fireworks.
Okay.
First, I'm going to explain history of fireworks. The origin of fireworks have ancient China, but in Japan, the beginning of fireworks has been told since Edo period. At that time, small toy fireworks were made for the first time. Also, it became very popular among common people.
Yeah.
The popularity of fireworks had not declined and spread around the Japan as townsman culture. Then, in the beginning of Meiji era, barium, strontium, and so on were imported from Western countries to Japan, and the current colorful fireworks have started. Japanese fireworks have been popular since Edo period and even now. Next, I'm going to introduce many types of fireworks. There are many types of fireworks in Japan. Fireworks are named after flowers and other things. For example, this is called chrysanthemum, in Japanese, kiku. That sparks are flying radially and draw the chrysanthemum shape. Next is peony, in Japanese, botan.
Cool.
Kaleidoscope, in Japanese, mangekyo. Kamuro. Weeping willow, in Japanese, yanagi. Flying shooting star, in Japanese, hiryusei. Bee, in Japanese, hachi. Flower thunderstorm, in Japanese, hanarai. Sudden flowers, in Japanese, sending. And katamono, that is draw various forms such as heart, smile, and butterfly. There are many types of fireworks, but I can't introduce all the types of them. I'm glad to take an interest in fireworks more. In summary, fireworks in Japan started in Edo period, and even now, it is popular for many peoples. Then there are too many types of fireworks to introduce them all. We can watch fireworks from house, even in this corona situation. And fireworks make people happy. So I hope that we can watch fireworks in this summer. Thank you.
Me too.
Do you have any question?
I just had a comment. There's not only are there a lot of designs, there are a lot of colors of fireworks too, aren't there? Yeah, so like you, I would like to watch fireworks and go, "Wah! Wah!" and watch the brilliant fireworks. I love them. Okay. Then where are we? Wow, we're up to number 11. Thank you. Natsuki, can you make your presentation?
Okay.
Okay. Just get yourself up. Ready? Nice. We just saw some ukiyo-e.
Good morning. This is ukiyo-e. This is a Japanese traditional way to draw pictures. I'll introduce ukiyo-e today. I chose ukiyo-e as a topic of presentation because when I was a high school student, I studied Japanese history. In Edo era, ukiyo-e was a very popular culture. I remember many products, but I don't know what is ukiyo-e. So I want to know about ukiyo-e more. The origin of ukiyo-e is not clear, but many researchers say that Iwasama Sabe is pioneer of ukiyo-e. He has ability of painting. His father was a Sengoku warlord in Japanese Sengoku Busho, but his father was punished. After that, he started painting at Fukuihan. He was called Ukiyo Matabe. After a few years, he was invited by Edo Shogunate as a Goyo Eshi. Goyo Eshi means a painter who belongs to Shogunate. He made many pictures, including the work for daughter of Tokugawa Iemitsu. Next, I want to introduce two famous pictures. First, this is Kanagawa Okinamiura, most famous picture of Fugaku 36 painted by Katsushika Hokusai. I think everyone saw this picture once or more. This is his masterpiece. This picture shows contrast between wide motion of sea and quietness of Mount Fuji. This affects many artists over the world. For example, Goho and Debussy was affected by him. Next, this is Okubie. Okubie is the picture which is actor's picture in Edo era. In Edo era, Okubie was like a bromide. The famous Okubie painter is Toshu Sai Sharak. This picture is model is Edobe, who is character of drama. This shows tension of actor well. Sharak's picture affect many painters over the world too. His picture became a boom once in Europe. There are many his pictures in museums all over the world. So wrap up my presentation. There are many works of ukiyo-e. The origin of ukiyo-e is works by Iwasama Tabe. Some famous ukiyo-e painters affect many artists all over the world. If you become interested in ukiyo-e, please try to find out about ukiyo-e. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I love ukiyo-e. I have 4 ukiyo-e in my house. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Then, Hina, are you ready to present?
Yes.
Oh, hashi, hashi, hashi.
Can you see it?
Yes, thank you.
Hello. Do you know chopsticks? Maybe everyone says, of course. Today, I'd like to talk about chopsticks, which is like sticks and is used when you pick up something while eating or cooking. I chose chopsticks as a topic of presentation because Japanese people always use them when they have a meal, so I want to learn about them more. Also, Japanese people have a lot of manners of chopsticks.
So I'd like to check them with you so that we can explain them to foreign people. First of all, I'm going to talk about the origin of chopsticks. According to website, there are two theories to explain it. First, Japanese messengers, for example, Onono Imoko, brought Chinese culture to Japan in 6th centuries Asuka period. Second, chopsticks were recorded Japanese history book in 7th centuries Nara period. So we can predict probably they were already used at the time. What is the word origin? There are mainly three theories. Number one, it came from hasamu in Japanese. When you pick up something, you sandwich it by using chopsticks. Number two, when you pick up something, you use it by moving tips, hashi. So it came from the way of using. Number three, it came from its shape. They looks like a bird's bill, kuchibashi. Secondly, I'm going to talk about recognition of chopsticks for Japanese. Japanese people have their own chopsticks. You may be surprised, but this culture is only Japan. Also, they have a lot of shapes of chopsticks, such as circles, squares, pentagons, and more. Moreover, variety of materials are used. For instance, woods, bamboos, even chestnuts. Therefore, Japanese people have many choices to get their own chopsticks, and they consider chopsticks as personal, special, and familiar ones. Lastly, how many manners of chopsticks can you say? It is only Japan that there are so many manners. Today, I introduce 3 manners. First, yosebashi. This way is used when you want to approach your dish toward yourself. When you want to take the dish, you should take it by your own hands.
Yeah.
Second, sashibashi. When you want to eat something, but it is hard to sandwich it, so you may use chopsticks in this way. Actually, this way is used when you offer meals to a dead person. Also, this way looks like doubting whether these meals are well cooked or not. Third, nigiribashi. Holding chopsticks by all fingers is mistaken manners.
Yeah.
This way is seen as attacking someone, so you are looked as a dangerous person. Even if you understand these manners, probably you tend to do bad manners without thinking carefully. To sum up, please careful when you use chopsticks so as not to do bad manners. So to wrap up my presentation, chopsticks are dishes and looks like sticks. You use them when you pick up something. Japanese people see chopsticks as personal, special, and familiar ones. They have a lot of interesting manners of chopsticks. Japanese people usually use chopsticks more than any other country. If you have a chance to study abroad, it is good to tell foreign people unique manners of chopsticks. That's all. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't. No, I'm good, but I just thought of something, and I've got you a research question. I have questions for everybody, but this is one I'm going to tell you. You know, when you put the hashi on the table, which way do you put it? The thick end is on the right, or the thick end is on the left? I have researched that before, but it's a very interesting question. I think if you decide to research it, you might be interested by the answer. Because there is a reason. Do you understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Okay, you don't have the answer. I don't know the answer either. But do you understand my question?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, if you decide to do it, then let us know what you find out. Okay. Okay. Good. Thank you. Can you stop sharing your screen, and let's go to Daizaburo.
Yes.
Oh, there you are.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I will introduce a traditional Japanese toy, menko. Menko is a toy that is played by hitting the ground and turning over another menko. But today's presentation content is not how to play, but the appeal of menko.
Okay.
I choose menko as a topic of presentation because I like menko since I was a child. So I like this toy. I like this toy very much. Most people don't know or haven't played. Even most Japanese people don't know how to play in detail. So I want to tell you how wonderful menko is and everyone try to play it. The most popular menko today is made from paper. So probably you know only this type. But menko has a history and a lot of type. In this short presentation, I will explain menko's history and the appeal of this toy. According to the website of Tamagawa University Museum, Japanese people started to play menko 200 years ago during the Edo period. But at that time, menko was very different from today. Please look at the picture on the left.
Yeah.
These are the first menko in Japan and made from mud. About 100 years later, in early Meiji period, red menko became popular. Mud and red menko are very similar in size, weight, and shape. So both of these two types have the shape of face, and their size is very small, like a pebble. So men of the name means cow in Japanese, and ko means small. So menko means small face, like this picture. So since Taisho period, paper menko started to be known as general. Because of this, paper could paint on the paper, people could paint on the paper and a lot of design born. So this was called menkoe, which appealed many Japanese people from children to adults. Now that you know history and why this toy is called menko, let's talk about the appeal of menko. You may think that menko is a toy that people just throw, but menko is profound and has a lot of appeal points. Recently, colorful and cool menko that have character on their face has been becoming popular. Please look at the picture on the left. These are the designs of Dragon Ball. This is Japanese anime. You can gain their favorite menko on which your favorite character, animals, or historical figure are painted. Moreover, people can make original menko on their own. The picture on the right shows menko made from origami. So you can create menko in favorite shape and draw a picture in free. Also, some people put oil on the menko to win the game. So to wrap up my presentation, menko has a lot of types and mud, lead, and paper. The name of menko means small face. You can make and get your original menko. So less and less people play Menko. This toy is very attractive and exciting. So I want you to try it and introduce it to your friends. Thank you for your kind attention. Do you have any question?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Then let us go to our last presentation for today by Mao.
Yes.
Okay, get yourself set up. Ah, thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you see it?
Yes. You bet.
Uh, Hello. Today, I'd like to introduce decorative Japanese card made from paper called Mizuhiki. Do you know Mizuhiki?
Ah, これだ. Yes.
I think you often see it when someone celebrated as happy event or console who had sad news. Its name comes from stretched cord soaked in colored water. I chose Mizuhiki as a topic because it has important role in Japanese culture and variety of tying. So I had interested in its origin and meaning in detail. First of all, I'll show you the origin of Mizuhiki simply. In the 15th century, during the Muromachi period, Japan traded with China. You may know it as Nichimin Boeki. According to the website, at that time, Chinese sent Japanese products tied with red and white rope. So Japanese then misunderstood that the rope used for decoration when they give present. Second, I'll explain the meaning of Mizuhiki. In general, there are 3 types of tying. Now, look at the picture on the left. This kind of tying is called hanamusubi. But not it's easy to be tied again, even if it come apart. So we have this when we want someone to have the event again, such as newborn. Now look at the picture on the middle. Musubikiri is hard to untie. So we have message, we don't hope that the event happens again, like marriage and funeral. Finally, though Awaji Musubi is similar with Musubikiri, it is brighter than it. We use it as a message that we hope it's keeping successful. Therefore, we use different ways of tying depending on what we want to tell. So, wrap up my presentation. Mizuhiki came from old China when Japan traded with them about 600 years ago. It has a lot of way of tying, and they have each important message. Actually, I didn't know their meaning well till I make this slide. I'm happy to learn about them in detail. Thank you. Do you have any question?
No, thank you. Can you show your last slide?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yes, okay, thank you very much. Wow, everybody did a lot of research and you all presented some interesting things, and I think that we learned something new from everybody. So thank you a lot for your work. As I told you before, what is going to happen now, I will make a recording and I will upload it to the Moodle and I will let you know when it's there. Presenters, please be sure to watch your presentation on the video and then to complete your self-evaluation and upload it to the class Moodle by Sunday, 23rd at 5 o'clock. That's the deadline. There's a place to do that on the Moodle. And as I showed you before, the self-evaluation sheet. So please get that. Also for presenters today, please give some feedback on your self-evaluation just based on your memory, and then go back and watch the video when it's ready, okay? All right, thanks a lot. And I want to say thank you for making effort to find a quiet space if you're on campus. It really, really helped a lot. So thanks a lot. I know it's not easy to do, so I highly appreciate your big efforts for that. So thank you a lot. Okay, then let's end so you can take a break, and then we will go to part 2 of presentation 1 next week. All right, I'll say goodbye now. Thank you a lot for your work and see you next week. Goodbye.